Ooh, and this guy walked up to the door and he saw the sold out at Prismatic Evolutions and he just walked away. That's a bummer. The state of the Pokemon card industry is kind of in a weird flux right now. If you want to buy a newer set, like Surging Sparks or even Prismatic Evolutions, it might be a little challenging to get. Maybe you're watching this video a couple months from now when this first released and you're trying to get journeys together. Might be a little difficult. So that leaves us with the question, what options are left for you if you can't get your hands on any new cards? Here are some 3 things that you could be doing while trying to get your hands on some new product. As you watch the video, I'll go more into detail for each one. Number 1, if you aren't already, get into deck building. Learn how to play the game. Number 2, take inventory. You probably have a lot of cards right now or are starting a mini collection. You have so much bulk, you don't know what to do with it. And number 3, buy older sets. Look, you guys, I know Shrouded Fable isn't that popular, but you should probably give it a shot. There's Stellar Crown out there. If you manage to, maybe Obsidian Flames or even SV1. Number 1, get into deck building. And the reason why I say that is you have all these cards. If you're a collector, if you're a tried and true collector like myself, learn how to play the game. It'll open up a whole new element of fun for you. So I went out actually to try to record a vlog on like any new product. Like the current state of like Pokemon cards right now is pretty tricky. All I could really see is just not newer product. It's mostly older sets, not that old. And I'm also into the competitive scene. I play and I make vlogs about competitive content every now and then. I'm not good, but I have a lot of fun doing it. If you're in a rural area, you might be okay, but if you're more of in like a cityscape, kind of like myself, you'll kind of experience something like this. Hey guys, Kevin TCG here. Today we are just out and about to see what we can find in terms of Pokemon cards. Prismatic Evolutions is sold out everywhere. Surging Sparks you can't really find anywhere. Let's see what we can do with what limited stock there is. As expected, there wasn't too much. There was quite a bit of Shrouded Fable and some base set tins, like Scarlet Violet base set tins, some Paradox Rift collection boxes like Roaring Moon and Iron Leaves. That's Paradox Rift, right? So I got a 3-pack. Can never get more of Shrouded Fable. I know it's not really a sought after set, but I like opening it. I like cracking it open. Of course, I had to work on my competitive team right here. Ooh, and this guy walked up to the door and he saw the sold out at Prismatic Evolutions and he just walked away. That's a bummer. So I finished building the rest of my deck from a Dragapult deck. So last night I actually found out I only needed like 6 or so cards to finish my Dragapult Iron Thorns EX deck. So we're gonna go ahead and get that built, and in a future video we'll compete with that deck. Let's so I'll go ahead, go back to my office, and we'll talk about what you can do when you can't find Pokemon cards out in the world. Or at least Pokemon cards that you want to buy. So that's how I ended up with some Shrouded Fable and singles for my new Dragapult deck, which I'll be making a video about in the future. The reason why I say competitive, getting into the competitive, you have a lot of cards, which will lead into point number 2, which I'll go over in a second. You have a lot of cards, and a lot of cards that you have and you might not think of are quite valuable. Professor Sada's Vitality. If you're a competitive player, you'll probably need this for some Raging Bolt deck or an Ancient Box type of deck. If you're a regular Joe Schmo collector like myself, this means nothing to me. However, this means something to someone somewhere. Sure, you might not get a whole lot, but this will lead into point number 2. Taking inventory of your cards. You have one of these. You have an ETB, most likely. If you don't, you should probably get your hands on at least one. They're fun to open. And you have a lot of these, just random pulls. They're not pulls you like. They're just regular cards, reverse holos, or holo rares that you don't like, and they're not, you know, those full art EXs or illustration rare cards. You just have a ton of them. What I recommend is sorting through your bulk. I recommend sorting it by the type of card to start off with. For example, Pokemon and the Pokemon's type, maybe by set. You can also sort by trainer cards. There are supporter cards, item cards, and tool cards. And in the competitive format, some of them do cost a little more than others. And a lot of local game shops, if they're into the Pokemon scene, I hope yours are, will buy certain bulk cards. Like those supporter cards that you might have like 15 of, they might buy them for like 50 cents, and those add up. So let's say you have 20 cards of let's say you have 20 item cards that people are looking for. Shops are willing to pay you 50 cents per card and you have 20 of them. That's $10. $10 in cards you get back. 50 cents isn't that much, but if you have multiples, it could be a nice bargain. So even if, if you're in the competitive scene, you probably already understand this. You can also pocket it for yourself and put it into your decks. But if you're not really interested in the competitive scene, this is a great way to make a little bit of money back to put funds towards your next Pokemon purchase. And with bulk, you can also just donate it. You can also just sell your bulk too as like wholesale bulk. There's places online that do it, but most importantly, support your local game shop because some of them do, a lot of them do buy your bulk. And depending on which one, they'll buy it back at a certain rate. So if you have 1,000 cards, just like non-holo, non-reverse holo, you get $5 back. That's not too bad if the going rate is 0.005. And if you have like reverse holos and holos, they'll bump up the return rate a little bit. And if you have a ton of EXs that are pretty common, one second. Got a Marnie deck box that has at least 4 Frostlass EX cards. So if you have a ton of those, make sure you keep track of them, take inventory, go to a trade day, go to a trade event, take it to your local card show or card shop, just offload them. You don't really, if you're not going to use them, if they're not going in your collection or if they're not going into your deck, take inventory, find a way to push it out somewhere. Even if you get like a minuscule return, you don't need it laying around. The amount of times I actually go to my card shop and offer up my trade binder, which doesn't have the greatest of stuff, if I'm being for real. Oftentimes I'll just say, just take it, take the card. I don't need it. I have multiples of those cards. Just take it off my hands. I don't want to trade you. If I do see something cool, it's probably not up to value, so just go ahead and take my cards. Take inventory, see what you can push, see what you can sell in bulk, see what you can trade around. You'll have a ton of cards and stuff might shock you. And the final point is to buy older sets. You guys, Shrouded Fable. This is a good set. This is a good set. It's a special set, so it's gonna be smaller. Your pull rates aren't gonna be that great, and your overall selection of cards isn't big either. It's kind of like it's a give and a take, but there's a lot of cool cards in this set that if you're into cracking stuff open, this might satiate your craving. I know Stellar Crown, I see a lot of Stellar Crown along with Shrouded Fable, but I see a lot of Stellar Crown laying around and there's a lot of playable cards there. If you want to build Terrapagos deck, you definitely can do that. If you just want cool illustration rares, there's tons of them in there. Now, if you finished, like let's say SV1, and you see a lot of SV1, probably, obviously don't buy it, but if you see something else that you don't have bought much of and you purposefully skipped, go ahead and buy it. I bought this 3-pack because I did buy a decent amount of Shrouded Fable. I've opened a decent amount of Shrouded Fable on this channel actually, and I want to get my fix in. I think, I say this every time, Twilight Masquerade, I want to open more Twilight Masquerade. I definitely want to do more of that, and I definitely want to do more Stellar Crown. I actually split a booster box with my partner Coral. That was off camera. We opened a couple of ETBs. We opened a couple of 3-packs and singles. You know, that might come to the case of the argument of buy singles. But yeah, I mean, you can always buy singles. There's nothing wrong with that, buying singles to add to your collection. That's also another thing, but that takes like, what, 5 minutes? And you can really go down a huge rabbit hole. And if you're a collector like myself, I love buying singles. But I do have a hard time spending $50 on one single for a collection that I'm not trying to complete or do a master set on. I'm okay if I don't get it. If I pull it from Shrouded Fable, for example, then I pull it. If I don't get it, that's not a huge bummer to me either. I like cracking packs, and the reason why you're here is you probably like cracking packs too. But yes, buying singles is an option, but those 3 other points are here to kind of not mitigate that, to provide an alternate option to make it more enjoyable, to make the card game as a whole more enjoyable. Not saying buying singles is not enjoyable, but I'm just saying there's other outlets than buying singles. So anyways, those are my 3 tips. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And if you made it this far into the video, thank you. we're now gonna crack this open on camera. I was debating on, as I was recording this, I was debating on like overlaying myself in a corner right here and just opening these cards, but I decided I'm gonna open these cards and treat it as a normal opening video. So let's get to cracking. Excuse the mess, you guys. So before I actually recorded this video when I got home, I was so excited to build my Dragapult Iron Thorns deck that I play tested against myself using my Raging Bolt deck. And because of the current Metascape, a little nerd tidbit, because of the current Metascape, I personally have a hard time playing with with Dragapult because it's a bit slow compared to Raging Bolt. Dragapult is good for spread damage, so you knock out Pokemon on their bench and in the active at the same time if you know how to do that really well. I don't. I'm learning how to use it, and Dragapult is great. Iron Thorns is great for stalling, but Raging Bolt came back from the dead each and every time. Or if I like bricked and I couldn't come back by my second turn, Raging Bolt had an attack ready to go. Like, come on, man. And if you haven't seen my LA Regionals vlog, this is one of the coins or the counters I got, and they both are markers. They have burn and poison, and they're numbered. This one's 74 and this one's 74. Los Angeles, May 24th to the 26th, 2024. It's just a cool little thing. I bought this for the regionals sign up. It's like one of their tiered packages, and I chose like the first tier instead of, you know, the regular just sign up. And you get free counters and what else did I get? A pin. And that was pretty much it. It just added on like, I don't know, an extra 15 bucks. Okay, so this is mostly clean. So here's the 3-pack of Shrouded Fable. We got Petron as the mascot right here, and a cool, gosh, I don't want to say cosmic foil. Is that a cosmic foil? I don't know. My foils are not strong. I just like, I see pretty card I collect. I should really learn the term. So I do have quite a bit of history with Shrouded Fable. Opened it on release day. I went to GameStop and used like a ton of my GameStop points to open the cards. It's really fun. Really fun day overall. I got some cool pulls. Coral got the cool like illustration rare Petron, and she traded it for my Persian, which I got. Was it from Shrouded Fable? I think so. So we traded back and forth. I like Petron. He's going in my collection, so I just use the regular EX version in my decks. And fun fact about me, if I don't have multiple copies of that card, it's going in my trade binder, even if it's a regular EX card. Going in my trade binder, not my trade binder, my collection binder. Sorry guys. I'm just so excited to open Shrouded Fable. Okay, so first up, we got Persian, Dusclops, who's seeing quite a bit of play, Meowth, Zorua, Kyurem, who's also seeing a lot of play in Regidrago decks, a menace. Night Stretcher, very playable. I'm going to keep that to the side. Eventual, Reverse Hollow Persian, Reverse Hollow Dartrix, and a Hollow Rare Cresselia. Not bad. I got a Night Stretcher out of that. And you see, guys, if you're not into the competitive scene and you're watching this, you're still watching this video, thank you. That Night Stretcher card is used in quite a bit of decks. Basically, you can recover your Pokemon or lost energy from your discard pile, and that is a pretty important move, or a pretty important item card to use that a lot of standard meta decks use, because it's just a quick way to accelerate what you need, or what you might have lost for what you need. Eventual, another Night Stretcher. Okay, gonna keep that to the side. We got Sylveon, and our first reverse hollow is a Rowlet, leading into a Pheasantipity! Oh, shoot! Oh my gosh! This isn't Pheasantipity EX, you guys. Different card, but it is also very valuable. Like that regular $7 EX card, very playable. Normally EX cards are like $1 to $3. That one's $7, very playable. Okay. Wow. I am very hyped. I'm very glad I bought that. And Blood Moon Ursaluna. Very glad I bought this 3-pack. I got Pheasantipity. Let's go. Okay. And we got Okie Dokie. Last pack magic. Also, I didn't mean to like throw Fedzendipity off to the side. It kind of just happened. We got Okie Dokie. Code card. Oh, hey, look at that. If you're also into collecting and you haven't opened Shrouded Fable, you can get a chance at Hollow Energies. Which, if you're into the competitive scene, you guys, you can bling out your deck. Just saying. That's going to the side. That's going into my Gengar deck. We got Drowsy, Absol, Joltik, he's so tiny, Seadra. Talk about like a underrated dragon type Pokemon. I love Seadra. Sylveon, Binding Mochi, Malamar, Reverse Hall of a Room, and we're gonna see if we get any illustration rares. Another Malamar, can we get an EX here? And a rare Tapu Bulu. Just a regular holo, not bad. I don't really post values on my channel of like random pulls. I'll talk about them from time to time if I pull that stupid $500 Pikachu card. Is it still $500? But like, you can get just simple illustration rares like these. They're really cool. If you don't have it in your collection, I highly recommend it. Like Shrouded Fable, underrated set. I get why people don't buy it. I get it. I don't buy a lot. I haven't bought a lot since release, but this is a very nice option if you're missing out on Surging Sparks or Prismatic Evolutions. If you haven't gotten your hands on Shrouded Fable, take a chance. Buy a 3-pack. You don't have to buy an ETB. Just buy a 3-pack. 3-packs are goated, I feel like, in this new era of the TCG. So again, let me know in the comments down below. What have you guys bought in the absence of Prismatic Evolutions or Surging Sparks for that matter? Or are you skipping stuff altogether? I know some people are skipping Prismatic Evolutions. And let me know what you think about my 3 tips. Add more in the comments, please. Do you like my poll? What did you pull? Like, tell me anything about your day. I'll respond, I'll do it. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content in the future. With that being said, my name is KembaTCG, and I'll see you guys next time. No face cam. Peace.